Müzikleri çok güzel olacak oyunun ya.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series.
Night City Wire'ın ilk bölümü diyor, devamı gelecek.
Talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our
Yeni bir trailerla başlayacağız.
help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news.
Yeni haberler var. Gizli anlaşmalarla ilgili duyurular. Ve yapımcılarla muhabbet. One more thing mi?
Have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started. It is time to take a look at our brand new trailer, and after that, our lead quest designer.
Grafikler iyi anlamında mı ne dedin Erim?
Because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
Trailer. Hadi bakayım yeni trailer. Artı 17 mi? Pek sanmıyorum.
Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on. City like any other, just bigger. No, mano, not just any other.
Yine yağmur var. Abi bu CD Projekt Red yağmuru niye bu kadar seviyor? Yağdırmayın şunu. FPS'imiz yetmiyor.
Doubt that puts us in the same league as them. But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything. Unless you catch a bullet. Even then, you go out with a bang, right? You know, you can make heaps more eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Job's to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ya o kadar seri geçiyor ki karakterler.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough. He's led, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
What the fuck just happened in there?
Can't stop digging Night City. Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie? Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Dix, what the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you? Fuck.
Senin fuck'ına kurban. Keanu Reeves.
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So Pavel,
Şu an
why
halay
don't you
çekiyorlar.
try and help us unpack everything that we just saw?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely, I can try. So, would you have just seen
Bir adet takibiniz vardı.
prologue of the game? So that awesome
Rakoru
stuff is only
Pierre,
happening
takip için teşekkürler, hoş
in the first
geldin.
requests. What the trailer shows you
Abi
is
çok iyi
really
gözükmüyor mu ya?
our stage, The Night City, you know, this gigantic city built of 6
Aleykümselam, hoş geldin.
districts.
Çok iyi gözükmüyor mu ya?
Called the Badlands. As a player, you are meeting Jackie. Jackie is your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this.
Bakın bu aksiyon oyunu değil. Unutmamanız gereken bir şey bu. Bu bir RPG olacak.
He's a very important person in a social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned. And but to see it, you have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so
Kaçırdım başını, bir şeyle ilgili ekstra bilgi istedi. Ha, buradaki çeteyle ilgili.
After death of Elizabeth Borden, she was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel, and former sex worker, and she was protecting
Oyun kesinlikle artı 17 olmayacak ya.
harassment from abuse, and the
Mümkün
gang
değil
is
abi.
really continuing her
Daha burada
mission.
bile
And as a player, you
kerhanelerden
are
falan
going to
bahsediyor.
that gang, meet multiple different NPCs and craft your own relationship with them and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player,
Badlands, Night City'nin çevresindeki şu bölgeymiş anladığım kadarıyla. Açık dünyanın büyüklüğüne görün. Yani sadece bir şehirden bahsetmiyoruz burada. Mad Max'in açık dünyasını da eklemişler. Biraz oraya benzettim.
Different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
Bu Badlands'te gezmek çok değişik hissettirecek falan diyor.
Now he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay,
Giant
so
metal monster.
The big dude that was Adam Smasher.
Adam
He
Smasher.
has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He is
Tamamen dönüştürülmüş bir cyborg.
And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to
İlk veya son olmaz ama bir yerde bir boss bu belli yani. Bu bir yerde boss olarak karşımıza çıkacak.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous
Victor Vector.
gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about
Bizim geliştiricimiz miydi bu?
and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So Reaper dogs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the
Cerrahlar diyor.
Cyberpunk. They are
Cyberpunk'ta.
accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can basically update your
Yani
body
vücut
in
parçalarını
a
metallerle değiştirebilecek cerrahlardır bunlar diyor.
And as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Reaper dogs in the game. Craft your own
Upgrade için bu
with them.
adamlara
Some of them are,
gideceğiz.
like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to
Vücudunu
survive
eşyalara
under the
dönüştüreceksin.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share.
Birkaç yeni haberimiz var.
We announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same
Konsol
for
çıktığında
PlayStation players
Xbox
as well.
One X'te oynayacaksınız.
If you pick up Cyberpunk
Xbox
2077
One,
on
Xbox
PlayStation
Series
4,
X'te.
you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches.
Yani bir sonraki nesle de aktarabileceksinizin haberini veriyor. Biliyorduk.
And PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
Tonight City.
Before we reveal our first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome
Braindance
back our
gameplay.
developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret.
Deha ikinci ay aboneliğini kutluyor. Teşekkürler Deha. Neden böyle bir şey yaptığını bilmiyorum ama ikinci ayı ödemedim ama iyi hayırlı olsun.
A standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some time now. Edge Runners is due to launch in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
Hi, my name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edge Runners. What I do basically on this project
Cyberpunk
is that
what
I am
runners?
a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are
Bunch
nerds,
of
there's
nerds.
going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that
Animesi mi
we
geliyor
would
lan?
want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole. Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to
Acaba
talk to the dream
ben
team that will be
duymadım
bringing
mesela,
you this
animesi
anime.
çıkacak mı?
こんにちは。トリ
こんにちはじゃん。
取締役の大塚です。
Trigger'ın CEO'suyum. Yönetmeniyim. Karakter dizaynlarıyım.
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方、今回初めて触れる方両方に
Cyberpunk için anime yapıyoruz diyor hakikaten. Uhu.
今回はそのサイバーパンク
よ
という
うこそ。
僕らが10代の、一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に
Cyberpunk janrası biz daha bebeyken ortaya çıktı diyor.
また、時代が
Yıllar sonra buna katkıda bulunmak bizi heyecanlandırıyor.
非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今井氏、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
Cyberpunk Edge Runners harbiden animesi geliyormuş lan. Netflix mi? Lan 2020 mi?
Now it is time to show you some
Lan
gameplay
2020
of
çok
Braindance.
geç.
This is a feature that
2022
you'll
çok
see
geç.
when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077.
Braindance diye bir mekanik tanıtacak galiba şu an ya.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative.
Garip bir şey yapma.
You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Paraları al
Sell the
ve
BD
çık.
to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Braindance'i daha sonra birilerine satacağız.
Remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high.
Bir şey kaydediyor. Gördüğümüz her şeyi kaydeder modda mıyız şu an?
On you go.
Burada grafikleriyle ön planda olacak bir oyun değil kesinlikle. Özellikle The Last of Us'tan sonra muhtemelen grafiğiyle övülmez bir oyun. Gördüğüm en iyi grafikler değil çünkü belli. Acaba kıyafet değiştirdi, başkası gibi rol mü kesiyor? Ya third person görmediğimiz için şu an. Ha, başkasının anısını izledik şu an. Böyle dedektifçilik mekanikleri falan mı koyacaklar acaba?
That was too much. Felt the guy's
Adamın acısını, stresini ve umudunu hissettim diyor.
hope. Hope wrapped up in something else.
Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine. Got everything set up.
Assassin's Creed'de assassin olup oynuyorduk. Burada sadece bilgi için bence izleyeceğiz bir şeyleri. Oo, bir de parçalara ayırabileceğiz galiba. Third person kameraya geçti ama tabii ki piksel piksel oldu ama. Burayı istediğin gibi zoom out, zoom in. İstediğin zaman durdurabilirsin.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Braindance editor.
Those psycho freaks from the studio. Got it.
Dream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind.
İster hızlandırırsın, ister geriye alırsın.
Rewind, roll it back to the top.
Tersten olunca Rusça'ya döndü.
Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning. Try it.
Restart.
Now for some fun.
Şu an oyunu Xbox Series X'ten oynuyorlar bu arada bence. Y tuşu falan var. Ya da PC'den olabilir. Oo, tarayabiliyoruz. Her anı tarayabileceğiz galiba.
You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we said, we need to go sacrifice some guys. And remember, keep on last. That's all you have to do.
Okay, right here. Excellent. Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail.
Her detayı kaydeder bu teknoloji diyor. Fark etmediğin sesleri bile kaydeder.
Switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store.
Ses sinyallerini görüyoruz yeşillerle. Tarıyor. Abi dükkana girmeden önceki konuşmaları dinleyebiliyoruz.
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything.
Her şeyi kaydediyor. Brain dance.
Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
What I see you kissing the flooring. Money.
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw. Stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
Like what?
Ev's got Kiroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Sıcaklık ölçeri de var şu kaydın.
Scanning works on peeps too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. All right, next.
Vurduğun kızı tara.
Forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Where I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, now, fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
Galiba güvenlik kamerasına ulaşacağız. Oradaki kayda yani.
His own chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market.
Az önce yardım eden keko vurmuş lan.
BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit. Yeah, it's impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So braindance is a pretty big part of Cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's two sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore, so how this actually fits into the universe. And then there's the gameplay side, so how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more about the lore of braindance?
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then
kişinin
playing them
tecrübelerini
back to
kaydetmek için
someone else so that they
oluşturulmuş.
could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was
Veya
originally used for things
daha
like
önce yaşadıklarını
therapy
tekrar
and
yaşaması için
rehabilitation,
insanların.
but by 2077,
Furkan takip için
it's
teşekkürler,
become
hoş
a
geldin.
global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well.
Adult
Now, in
fare.
our game, we deal a lot with black brain dancers, or
VR
SBDs,
artı 18 yapmak
and
için
there are
az.
different types of those. But the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording. And it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the braindance in the game as a mechanics.
Bunu oyunda mekanik olarak nasıl kullanırız diye bayağı düşündük diyor.
Editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the braindance in the editor mode and see different
Editör modunda bayağı bir şeye ayrıca bakabileceğiz.
Of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of that recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to
bir sürü araştırma yapacaksınız.
actually using that brain dance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use brain dance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use brain dance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical
çocukluk
ideas in a way
anılarına kadar, dini bilgilerine kadar alacağız diyor.
So we've tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for?
Siz Cyberpunk'la ilgili neyi için heyecanlanıyorsunuz?
One of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they
Karakterleri ve dünya ile olan etkileşimleri.
World that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things. But those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character,
Umarım PlayStation 4'te hafif bir eğim yardımı olur.
But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out what was their childhood like, what was their upbringing like, what kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality, and did they overcome them, and how did they overcome them, or did they not overcome them, and why? And you can see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue.
Onun ortamındayken bile onun geçmişiyle ilgili bir şeyler öğreneceksiniz.
Use it in the game because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned so much, and we have used all that experience to put them into the
Witcher 3'ten beri de çok şey öğrendik diyor. Şaka maka 5 yıl geçti. Neler yaptığınızı acayip merak ediyorum ya.
Everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next years. I remember
Bunlar adamın kendi dili mi üstünü mü çizmiş sonra ya?
And they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures.
Abi adam not alarak oyun yapmış. Ben de not alarak oynayacağım.
Yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about.
One more thing.
Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their...
Araba biraz yatay gözüküyor bana. Niyeyse dünyayı alttan üstten bastırmışlar gibi.
Don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry,
Night City Wire devam edecek belli ki.
In just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
Ay ay. 19 Kasım. Yere bir şey düşürdüm az önce ya.
But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So
2 hafta sonra ikinci bölümde döneceğiz diyor. Bakalım şu an chat ne durumda? Twitch chat'i ne durumda? Trash diyen var, hype diyen var, nice gameplay diyen var. Amazing on. That was amazing. On game of the year. Action please.